So in 2014, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Even though this was the official time of my diagnosis, I feel like I'd been suffering for a long time. And it was, so the thing is, I was still functioning. I was working for a large luxury fashion brand. I was going to the gym, I was seeing friends, but outside of that was a different story. It was the emotional fatigue combined with complete emptiness. And, you know, I just felt like I was just unusually drained and felt no connection with the world around me. I felt like a spectator viewing the world, but with no desire to be a participant. And it was really isolating. At the time, I'd had obviously no idea that I was depressed. And it was only confirmed after several visits to the doctors and a few conversations with friends. And I felt ashamed. I felt like I'd failed, especially as I'd always been someone very positive and upbeat. And I couldn't believe that this was happening to me, Saima, who was always that positive, bubbly person. So my road to recovery began with cognitive behavioural therapy, with meditation and antidepressants. And 3 years into my own recovery, life began to turn around. Things started coming up. I'd managed to build myself back up, and things were really positive. When suddenly, out of the blue, my best friend took her own life. I'd had absolutely no idea that she'd been suffering with depression, and it was a secret that she'd kept from every single family member and friend. And later, I learned that she'd been planning her death for a long time. I'm telling you this because if you're someone that's never suffered with mental illness, you'll never know how this illness consumes and imprisons you. You feel like you have absolutely no control over your own life. And of course, I'm only sharing my own experience, but there will be people in this audience that will resonate because 1 in 4 of us suffer with a common mental health problem. Mental health issues, they're not visible, and people are amazing at hiding them for all sorts of reasons. There's still so much stigma and shame, and people from BAME communities are even less likely to come forward for treatment than their white counterparts. Some of the reasons include fear of what the community will say, it affecting marriage prospects or your children's marriage prospects, saving face in front of the community and your honour. Some of the things that I faced, some of the issues that I faced along my journey included battling with my identity. So being a third culture kid, I never felt like I really had a sense of belonging in the world. And it felt like I was constantly yo-yoing between the Pakistani and English culture, but never really fit into either. And people-pleasing, that was another issue. So I was always a people-pleaser, which meant that I was always looking to be liked and approved of. So the power was always in the hands of others and not mine. And I just became lost in the noise of the world, including pressures at work and unhealthy relationships. And so my outer world became completely out of alignment with my own soul. So I want to share how my healing began and how my approach to life, which is living with an open heart and mind, has enabled me to start living as my true authentic self and start living fearlessly. So, the first steps to healing involve asking myself some really simple but powerful questions. Who am I? What are my values? What do I stand for? What do I want out of this life? And of course, we all subconsciously know the answers to these questions, but maybe not on a conscious level. So, the moment I began to question my own existence, things began to unfold in a way I had not expected. It felt like I was getting to know myself for the very first time in my life, as though I had been asleep to what life really meant and the meaning of what it is to be a human being. So here are some of the things I consciously learned about myself. I really enjoyed deep, meaningful, rich conversations, and I really couldn't stand small talk. I love the arts, which included creativity in the form of music and dance and literature and anything that really spoke to my soul. I was always drawn to people who had a twinkle in their eye and had a good story to share, regardless of gender, age, race or religion. And injustice, whether it happened to other people or me, pained me internally. The last one was, even though I was very confident, I was also very much an introvert at heart. And some of the things that I'd given myself a real hard time over previously, like being too sensitive, being heart-centered, showing vulnerability, I began to embrace and actually realize that these were my gifts. And when I took my own power back, life began to start revealing its magic. I began to meet interesting, rich, colourful people who were in alignment with the true me. I developed meaningful, deep relationships, but with healthy boundaries. I started to create work which made my soul come alive, including life coaching, including my podcast and my live event called the Trailblazers Journey. I started being invited to amazing events, and people wanted to write about me and hear my story. So, I'm going to describe some of the ways in which living with an open mind and heart has enabled me to live a rich, full, and purposeful life. Through being open and vulnerable and sharing my own experience, it's enabled other people to share theirs. So people who I'd worked with in my previous life in the fashion industry, or people who I'd met during that time in London, started messaging me, saying that they had also experienced something similar and that they'd never come out and said it. It gave others the permission to open up. And opening up can be a really cathartic experience and also a part of the healing journey. My passion for music and dance has enabled me to create a thriving community in rural Derbyshire. On Monday evenings, I teach a belly dance class. And in my class, one of my participants is Audrey. Audrey is in her 80s and she suffers with Parkinson's disease. And she loves belly dancing. And Audrey, I would say, is testament to the fact that life is for living and age really is just a number. And she's an inspiration to anyone who crosses paths with her. My love for storytelling and hearing other people's stories has led me to so many interesting people through my Trailblazers Journey podcast and live event. In 2019, I hosted an event where we discussed mental health. We had a panel discussion, and on that panel there was a 60-year-old bodybuilder, a vegan baker, and a gardener. There was an English gentleman in the audience who'd also suffered with his own mental health issues. After the talk, he came and told me that he told me how much of an impact the event had on him because he'd never heard people being so transparent about their own mental health. He also said that had his friend, bodybuilder, not been on the panel, he wouldn't have had the confidence to come to the event. And so it just shows you how powerful it is to be authentic and the impact it has on others. On another occasion, we had music and dancing from the Bosnian and Kurdish communities. For a lot of people in Derby, this was the first time they were experiencing the cultures of these rich communities, yet these communities make up a part of the fabric of the city. And the response was incredible, and it was such an enriching experience for so many people. In March, so next month, we are having our Youth Trailblazers event. Youth who are blazing their own trails. There are some amazingly vibrant, dynamic individuals on a panel discussion, and upon speaking to one of them, who's incredible, he told me of a time in his life which was really distressing for him. He was at a school which was very much focused on results. So it was very results driven, and he felt really depressed, and he didn't feel like he could be his authentic self. So what he did, he moved schools. He moved schools that wasn't as results driven, but it enabled him to start being himself, and he felt liberated. And even though he got results that were slightly lower than what he would have probably got in his previous school, he said he'd never have swapped the experience because he'd never felt so empowered. So why do I feel so strongly about living with an open heart and mind to combat mental health issues? Because we're all wired for connection. Connection to others, but also to our true, authentic self. Being open to new people and experiences helps our well-being and enables us to thrive in the world. And many people are just existing, but I don't believe life is for existing, it's for living. As human beings, we have an innate desire to be heard and understood. So when we embrace our passions and each other without labels and have the freedom to express who we truly are and how we feel, it helps us become attuned with our soul and therefore feel more at peace. By going inwards and connecting to our heart and soul, we get to know ourselves better. What serves us, what doesn't, what makes our soul feel alive. And then by honouring this, not only do we serve ourselves, but those around us through sending positive energy into the world, which right now we are in desperate need of. Life becomes richer, colourful and more vibrant, but most importantly, full of opportunities rather than barriers. So I'm going to leave you with this quote. Open your eyes to the beauty around you. Open your mind to the wonders of life. Open your heart to those who love you, and always be true to yourself. Thank you very much, guys.